Alrighty guys, what's going on? It is Cody from It's Bussin'. Clearly it's a little hot out. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday. So we're dealing with a couple of different things today in the bus. The bus is leaking coolant, as you can probably see right there. So I went ahead and actually already checked out like what the problem is. Usually when you're leaking coolant, leaking coolant is not that big of a deal. I mean, these buses are really old, right? So we're not like expecting them to be perfect. So usually when you're leaking coolant, it's like a crack in a hose or something like that. I checked all the hoses up underneath this bus, like literally every single one. Couldn't find water or coolant spewing out. So what was the issue? Coolant was coming out of the engine itself, which is kind of rare. Usually coolant, it goes throughout the engine, but usually if you have a leak in an engine, from the hoses. So after doing a lot of research online, I found out that my water pump, aka coolant pump, was going bad. And usually with the sign of a coolant pump going bad is it starts to leak, which is really not that big of a deal. Essentially what you have to do is just take off the belt of the bus, loosen up the belt, and then remove the old coolant pump, put a new one in. So you can go down to your local auto parts store. They're about like 50 or 60 bucks. And yeah, take the old one out, put the new one in, bada bing, bada boom. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Alright guys, so I just got back from AutoZone. You tell me, do these look similar? This is the old one, this is the new one. So whenever you're shopping for a bus, like, you know, it's a bus, it's a government vehicle, so it's kind of weird shopping for parts, but if you go off of the engine type, you'll usually be able to find parts pretty quickly. So this is a 5.9 Cummins. Dodge sells 5.9 Cummins engines to like the general public. Like if you ever seen like a Dodge Ram, most of the time it has a Cummins engine in it. So I was like, okay, well I can look on the Thomas maker of this bus. I can look on their website and order something for super freaking expensive, or I can look at a 5.9 Cummins water pump for a Dodge. And this is technically made for a 2004 Dodge Ram 2500. What they don't know is I'm gonna put it on a 2004 Thomas built bus. And we're gonna pop this baby on here. It's gonna be really difficult. I already know it's gonna be difficult, but we'll get it on there. All right. So there is the screw I need to tighten. And the other one is right there. And it's just hard to like try to fit a ratchet on there. Like as you try, like I can get it on there and, okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. But it's actually this other screw right down here that is difficult to tighten. Maybe that'll work. Huh? Oh yeah. Okay. Put y'all down for a sec while I tighten this. Alrighty guys, put the water pump back on. Now we just need to put the belt back on, and that should be it. I mean, we're gonna put the coolant in the engine back in, but yeah, I think the hard part is over. Let's see. Maybe not. I'm not gonna speak too soon. Let me loosen this to get it back on there. Oy vey. Oh man, that might be it. She might be on there. I think we might be good. Alrighty guys, that will conclude this week's video on me replacing the water pump. So this was the old water pump. Call it a water pump. It pumps coolant throughout the engine. But yeah, so it was kind of a difficult project. I would rate it like 5 or 6 out of 10. If I had a front engine or like a dog nose to where like this wasn't flat, it'd be a lot easier to work on. I'd probably rate this a lot less so I could get to it. The hardest part was just getting into the engine, but it is what it is. I'm kind of glad that I'm learning this. Guys, I'm not a mechanic by any means. I don't understand vehicles and how they work, but somebody told me this one time whenever I was having car trouble and I was tired of paying hundreds or thousands of dollars to mechanics, is that 98% of, stuff going wrong with your car, if you just go in there, start poking around, start looking around, you'll figure it out. The internet's a great place. I didn't understand exactly what was going on. I thought that it was just a coolant leak or a coolant hose, like a hose had a crack. That wasn't it. So then I just started Googling, coolant running out of my engine. Found out that's usually when a water pump goes. So looked up a water pump at my local AutoZone and was able to replace it. So guys, I want to tell you, you can do this with a little bit of intuitive attitude, or basically inquisitive, I should say. Just be inquisitive, just be curious. Like, what does that do? What does this do? And you'll figure it out, I promise you will. So if you enjoyed this, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe and comment. Have a great rest of your day, guys. I'm really hungry. I'm gonna go eat now. All right, bye.